Thank you, Shweta, for a wonderful, lovely introduction. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this second edition of National Housing and Infrastructure Summit. And we are here towards the very frag end of the day. Well, it has been a very exciting, day. We started with the very first session inaugural, wherein we got to hear our housing minister, Shri Atul Saveji, and then followed by wonderful presentations by our industry partners. And we are thankful for all the support. Now, I think I'll be very to the point because I know that people have been waiting since morning, and good to see such a bright number of people here even till the very end. So this session is specifically about the role of housing finance companies and banks, and how banks and housing finance companies streamline the housing and infrastructure project. So let me begin with one opening statement for this, and we have our set of panelists here who have joined here from variety of genres and variety of departments. Right from MHADA, we have a speaker from outside Maharashtra as well joining here from Madhya Pradesh, Shri Parikshit Sanjay Rao Zade. We have Anil Wankhede sir, who is the Deputy CEO at Maharashtra Housing Area Development Authority. And we also have Mr. Ajay Pawar, who is the Finance Controller at MHADA. And I myself, Anuj Sharma, I head the strategy for Elets Technomedia and eGov magazine. So as we know that, we are aware housing finance companies and banks, they play a very pivotal role when it comes to the financing and capital investment of any housing project. As we are aware, we have a very flagship scheme of Government of India, PMAY, Pradhan Mantri Aavas Yojana, Housing for All, HFC. These missions are been running for last 4 to 5 years, and Maharashtra has played a very crucial role in the success of such mission, and it is among the very top 5 states in terms of providing housing for all. We have a lot of challenges which are faced, like specifically in terms of once we build the housing project. Now the question comes how we are going to fund it, how people are going to get those finance help and all, and that's where the banks play important role. I missed out one name, Mr. Rajiv Johnson. I hope you are here, sir.
Exactly.
Okay, okay, you are Sylvan. Sorry. Uh, so we have Aavas Financial Limited also joined here in this panel.
As a chief business officer of Aavas.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Mr. Selvin, the Chief Business Officer from Aavas Financier. Ladies and gentlemen, he is here for the panel instead of Mr. Rajiv Johnson, who was earlier supposed to join. So I'll begin, with a brief introduction statement about, this role of housing finance company and banks from all the panelists. And very briefly, you can talk in just 3 to 4 minutes about what comes to your mind when we link the housing finance companies with the housing projects. Just quick 2 to 3 minutes about it, because a lot of people think about housing projects as in terms of infrastructure. They always miss out those housing finance and finances part of it. So just a 2 to 3 minute opening statement. I'll begin with Mr. Wankhede to start with please, sir, if you can give your opening statement for just 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'll move to specific questions for each one of you.
Good evening, everyone. I could see tired faces of all my senior and senior colleagues and my colleagues also. I will not take much of your time. Project finance is one of the very important aspects, I suppose. We in MHADA, I think we have not approached any finance company or finance for construction of houses so far. Because MHADA ancestrally was receiving land from government free of cost, either free of cost or under Urban Land Ceiling Act. Urban Land Ceiling Act is repealed in 2008. So ever since the act is repealed, we are facing problems with the land. Now, since the land was made available at free of cost or at nominal cost, so it was easy for us to construct affordable houses and make it available at affordable cost to the citizen. Ever since the act is repealed, we have no option but to acquire the land. In case we have to acquire land, minimum compensation is double the ready reckoner cost. Now, since suppose we acquire land like this, again the houses don't become affordable. So this is one aspect. MHADA, as I told you, don't get into the receiving finance. Now the second part, which is very very important according to me, is financing to the beneficiaries. Now MHADA is constructing LIG, EWS houses, as well as under Pradhan Mantri Aavas Yojana, various houses at across Maharashtra. What I primarily have seen is these poor people are facing lot of challenges for receiving finances. Now, many people who are from EWS category doesn't have their regular source of income. They may be a rickshaw driver, they may be vegetable vendor, they may be anybody from across our life. So that is the biggest challenge for them to arrange the finance. I have come across some of the cases where the beneficiaries have registered themselves. They intended to buy the house, but because they could not arrange their finances, they dropped. So there are such cases available with MHADA. So my request to the finance companies would be to kindly please have some mechanism, have some policies, have some tailor-made scheme for them and finance them. I can understand, I spoke to some of the finance companies, private finance companies and some banks also as well. They were saying ki in case they default, how do we recover our money? I told them कि MHADA house is a guarantee, because this house, when we allot to the beneficiary, it is allotted with lot of conditions. He can't sell that house in the open market. He has to take our permission. Even if suppose he has to rent the house, he has to take our NOC. So there are lot of such things whereby the finance company will be assured that their loan will not be defaulted. And even if in some cases that issue cropped up, so MHADA will be always there to support them. I will go beyond and say that in case any specific terms and condition is to be devised or allotment condition is to be changed, we are ready for that. But I request all finance companies to please consider this. Thank you.
Great. Wonderful, Mr. Wankhede, and that was very, very exciting and enriching to know that MHADA is there to support, for the mission. And now I would like to move on to Mr. Parikshit, Sanjay Zade, sir. If you can broadly tell about what is the current scenario in the state of Madhya Pradesh for the Housing for All mission, and where we stand as on today, and also your opening statement for this session.
थैंक यू. गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. सुबह से अपन सभी लोग हाउसिंग के बारे में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा सा चेहरा उतरा हुआ लग रहा है. बट जस्ट टू एनहांस इट, टू ऐड टू वानखेड़े सर्स, बिकॉज दिस चैलेंजेस आर देयर इन एमपी ऑल्सो. जैसे महाराष्ट्र की भी जो अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज़ है, सारी इंडिया की अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज़ है, इनका फाइनेंशियल कंस्टेंट रहता है, क्योंकि उनको अपार्ट फ्रॉम हाउसिंग वेरियस जो पब्लिक सर्विसेज है उसकी डिलीवरी देना पड़ता है, जिसमें आपका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स, देन स्वच्छता एंड ऑल इज़ इंक्लूडेड. सो अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग इज़ ऑन देयर लिस्ट प्रायोरिटी, निकाय की लिस्ट प्रायोरिटी पे रहता है. और प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना अंतर्गत जो प्रोजेक्ट्स बनते हैं उसमें जो क्रॉस सब्सिडी वाली बात मैंने सुबह कही थी, मतलब फाइनेंसिंग की जो बात कही थी, वहाँ पे जो हाउसिंग बैंक्स हैं, हमारी कमर्शियल बैंक्स है, आवास कंपनी जैसी मतलब नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल कंपनीज़ है, इनका रोल बहुत बड़ा हो जाता है. क्योंकि जो गैप फंडिंग करना होता है, क्योंकि निकाय के पास इतनी राशि होती नहीं है कि जो अपना पार्ट उसमें से इन्वेस्ट कर सके. सेकेंडली जो हितग्राही रहते हैं उनके पास भी इतनी फंडिंग अवेलेबल नहीं रहती कि जो फिर उसमें कंट्रीब्यूशन अपना, जब तक उनको आवास पोजीशन में नहीं मिल जाता है वो अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं देते हैं. So the question of liquidity to the contractor comes while we are building the project. तो एग्जांपल के लिए मैं हमारे यहाँ की एक साइट का एग्जांपल देना चाहूँगा कि हमारा जो एचपी का मॉडल था, जैसे क्रॉस सब्सिडी वाला, उन्होंने एलआईजी एमआईजी शॉप्स वगैरह सब प्लान में कर लिया था कि उसको हम बेच के हमारा ईडब्ल्यूएस वाला पार्ट बनाएंगे. बट अगेन has the process मतलब started, they have utilized the grant part of the project. मतलब जो सेंट्रल का ग्रांट आता है, स्टेट का ग्रांट आता है, उन्होंने यूज़ कर लिया. देन निकाय के पास ड्यू टू कोविड एंड अदर रीजंस उनके पास क्या जो पैसा था वो नहीं मिला. हिदराई अपना जो पार्ट था वो इन्वेस्ट करना जब तक आवास नहीं मिलता है तब तक नहीं चाहता है. सो लिक्विडिटी क्रंच हो गई, प्रोजेक्ट स्टॉल हो गया. सो दैट व्हाट दैट निकाय डिड कि उन्होंने एक ओपन मार्केट में टेंडर फॉर लोन प्रोजेक्ट किया है. लकीली नेशनल हाउसिंग बैंक उसमें आई है और लगभग उन्होंने 49 CR का लोन उनको ऑन इजी टर्म उनको अवेलेबल किया है. So that project started running, and again the Hidrai had confidence in that project and they started investing again. So coming back to my point कि आवास में अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग में बैंकिंग कंपनीज हो, नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंस कंपनीज हो, नेशनल हाउसिंग बैंक हो और कमर्शियल बैंक हो, इनका एक प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंसिंग रीफाइनेंसिंग में एक बहुत बड़ा रोल है, जो कि आगे हमारा PMAY 2.0 अभी आ ही रहा है, इस मतलब कैबिनेट से अप्रूव हो गया है. सो इसमें उनका रोल बहुत बड़ा रहेगा और उससे ही हम अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग का जो हमारा टारगेट है, हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल, ये हम अचीव कर पाएंगे. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Mr. Parikshit. That is well said and very, very rightly. Both of you and Ajit sir said that role of housing finance companies and banks is very, very crucial if you want to have this mission moving towards a successful journey. Uh, in this tone, I would like to shift. In fact, I was before was asking Mr. Ajay the next question, but then I think it's good too if I ask Mr. Selvin, since both of the gentlemen have pointed out the role of HFC, and we have Aavas Financier, and let me tell you, Aavas is one of the top 5 HFC player in Maharashtra. They are working actively here, so it's good to have their perspective also on the panel. So Mr. Selvin, if you can address few of the challenges being raised, especially when situation like this arises, that even after allotment, people are not able to meet their financial, things and all. So how is Aavas ready for this, and how they are ready to collaborate even with the pan-India state governments? I'm sure you are doing great
Yeah,
work,
we are
but then
doing
if you would want to share your perspective and address it.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I think so. I'm the only solution here right now, and to happy to be here today. Actually, प्रज्वल जी, मैं अभी MP जाके आया, कल रात को ही पहुंचा इधर. ठीक है. सो MP का जो मैं कस्टमर बेस मिला, मैंने उज्जैन गया था. उज्जैन में बहुत पंडित लोग को मिला. ठीक है. एंड एवरी मंथ वी डू अराउंड 7 to 8 पंडित केसेस. ओके. आज जैसे बोलेगा पंडित लोग का जो इनकम रेवेन्यू है महीने का उधर 1 लाख रुपया है. पेपर में तो दिख नहीं रहा था मुझे, पर मैं जब विज़िट किया ना तो उनका इनकम जब हम असेस किए, बिकॉज वी हैव अ अंडर राइटिंग टीम जो जाके उनके साथ बैठ के समझते. मैंने 3-4 ऑटो वाले को मिला. ठीक है. वी फंडेड दैट कस्टमर. मैंने खुद PD के हमने सैंक्शन किया. मैं जाके जो ऑटो का उज्जैन का जो मंदिर है उसमें गेट 1, गेट 2, गेट 3, ये 3 गेट में जाने के लिए वो 5 मिनट में 40 रुपये कमाता है. सो दिस टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट सिर्फ हम लोग ही कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. बिकॉज वी बिलीव दैट हमारे 80% ऑफ द कस्टमर बेस इज अनसर्व्ड एंड अनसर्व्ड मार्केट को ही हम प्रोजेक्ट करें. जैसा पाटिल जी ने बोला कि बहुत से अलॉटमेंट तो हो जाते हैं, पर वो हो सकता है मेड सर्वेंट हो सकता है ड्राइवर हो, बट हमारा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड विजन है, हमारा 90% ऑफ कस्टमर यही सेगमेंट से है. ठीक है. जैसा मतलब कोइंसिडेंस है कि मैं MP जाके आ गया. ठीक है. तो वी हैव मोर देन 2 लाख कस्टमर्स, आउट ऑफ विच 90-95% कस्टमर्स आर अफोर्डेबल कस्टमर्स. सो PMI का जब हमको अनाउंसमेंट मिला तो हमारे मैनेजमेंट ने, MD साहब ने क्लियर कट विजन दिया है कि हमको वी हैव टू बी द फर्स्ट इन फंडिंग दिस PMI प्रोजेक्ट. एंड वी हैव अ लाइसेंसिंग ऑफिसर ऑल्सो जो मेरे साथ है, जो रेगुलर बेस में सी आवास इज़ द ओनली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ओके विच इज़ हैविंग ए separate vertical for affordable business. Affordable business means only for the government. Okay, we have Rajiv is there, who's a vertical head for this entire project, and we have a license officer who is licensing with all government departments to do tie-ups and we fund this. So this is a separate vertical. So we are saying that हम जो भारत बोलते हैं ना, हम we are actually भारत. तो आपको किधर भी प्रॉब्लम होगा तो I'm giving you confidence that we will be there, okay, and we will be not asking कि income proof दिखाओ. What we are going to do is go and visit the customer, understand. मैं आपको I will give you some examples in Maharashtra, ठीक है. मैं रिसेंटली एक पानीपुरी वाले को फंड किया है 12 लाख रुपया, ओके. उसका दिन का रेवेन्यू था 5,000 रुपया, खर्चा था 1,000, तो 3-4 हज़ार उसका नेट प्रॉफिट. मैंने एक अभी नींबू बेचते हैं ना, नींबू और मिर्ची बेचते हैं, उसको फंड किया. सो आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू एन एग्जांपल सो दैट आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ कॉन्फिडेंस, okay, that we are there. So I am really open to all the officials of government, okay, wherever there is a project we will be there and I want to be the part of it. हम रेगुलर बेसिस पे जो भी ट्राइपार्टाइट करना है, MOU करना है, we are really open for this.
Great, Mr. Selvin. I think I'm sure it is very exciting and good to know that Aavas is ready to support the government, customers, and users.
Potential in this market.
Definitely it is, and we all have to work together to make it a success. I would want to move to Mr. Ajay Pawar, who is acting as a financial controller for the MHADA. So, sir, from your perspective, I would want to know, like, how do you see Housing for Finance mission? And we have heard Ajit sir, but then your role as a finance controller, what are the major challenges that you foresee when government move towards successful implementation in terms of what is any hurdle that you can see? That I would specifically want to know from you, since you are working at the ground level as a finance controller. The top players are at the policy level, but then you can tell us the root causes if there are any hindrances that I would specifically want to know from you.
Thanks and good evening everyone. आपने जैसा कहा चैलेंजेस तो हर्डल्स है, चैलेंजेस है, लेकिन उसके साथ में अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ भी बहुत है. तो सपोज वी जस्ट फोकस विथ अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग की जितने स्कीम्स है, तो जो प्रमोटर है उसके एंगल से अगर सोचते हैं तो उसके सोर्स ऑफ जो फाइनेंस है, तो देर आर 5 to 6 टाइप ऑफ सोर्स. वन सोर्स इज हिज ओन फाइनेंस, सेकेंड सोर्स इज project finance to the developer by the bank. Second is cost subsidy which government, central government, state government is promoting for affordable housing. Third part is the beneficiaries who pay the amount from their own income source. And fifth source is the beneficiary loan component which can be provided by either bank or if not possible by nationalized bank, then NBFC's role is important. So these 5 types of sources are there. Now when we focus on affordable housing, so these types of projects are very cost effective, cost to cost project. So the builder is there is a capping for the upper price limit, so he cannot sell the flat for high cost. So it is very important that the cash flow to his project is very important. बिकॉज 2 साल अगर उसका प्रोजेक्ट चलता है, 2 या 3 साल, तो 2-3 साल में उसको जैसा जैसा फंड्स जो स्टेज में रिक्वायरमेंट है, सिर्फ फंड्स रिक्वायरमेंट इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, उसका टाइम ऑफ फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट के साथ फंड्स मिलना वो भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. अदरवाइज वो प्राइस एस्केलेशन होगा, कॉस्ट इतना बढ़ जाएगा, द होल प्रोजेक्ट विल बी स्टैग्नेटेड. सो ये केस में वो ओन कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन उनका ज़्यादा होता नहीं है. ना प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंसिंग के बारे में नेशनल हाउसिंग बैंक और जितने भी नेशनलाइज बैंक है उनके साथ बहुत टाइप डिस्कशन चलता है, कॉन्वर्सेशन होता है कि वो उनके जो असेसमेंट पॉलिसी है, प्रोजेक्ट गवर्नमेंट प्रोजेक्ट है इसलिए वो उनके असेसमेंट पॉलिसी बहुत वीक करके उनको फाइनेंसिंग अफोर्ड टाइमली कर दे, तो ये एक टाइप का फाइनेंस हो जाता है. सेकेंड थर्ड पार्टीज जो कॉस्ट सब्सिडी है, तो गवर्नमेंट की कॉस्ट सब्सिडी इम्प्लीमेंट करने का एज अ फाइनेंशियल कंट्रोलर रोल हमारा होता है. तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की जितने भी सब्सिडी है वो हम जैसा ही टाइमली जब वो ड्यू होती है वो इमीडिएटली उनके अकाउंट में मिलने का मैक्सिमम हम कोशिश करते हैं. साथ में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है 1 लाख का, तो 40,000, 40,000, 20,000 3 स्टेजेस जो है, तो तीनों स्टेजेस कट करके BLC कंपोनेंट में हमने डायरेक्टली बेनिफिशियरी जैसे ही आइडेंटिफाई होता है तो पूरा 1 लाख रुपये हम इनिशियल स्टेज में देते हैं फॉर प्रमोशन एक्टिविटीज़. और तीसरा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का भी जो सब्सिडी है वो भी इमीडिएटली पास ऑन कर दे। और फोर्थ पार्ट जो आता है, तो जैसे बेनिफिशरीज अलग अलग टाइप के हैं, जैसा आवास के भी हेड ने यहाँ पे कहा कि उनका ओन फाइनेंस एक तो कम होता है, या अफोर्डेबल सेगमेंट में उनका ITR डॉक्यूमेंट ये इतना प्रॉपर होता नहीं जो कि नेशनलाइज बैंक उनको लोन दे। नेशनलाइज बैंक का जो रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है RLLR, जो RBI के रेट से लिंक्ड है, वो इट इज समथिंग अराउंड 8.4 8.5, जो कि अफोर्डेबल है लेकिन उनको मिल नहीं सकता है। ये मेजर बॉटलनेक और ये मेजर हर्डल फाइनेंस में है, बैंकिंग होम फाइनेंस में। तो यहाँ पे रोल जो NBFC का आता है, ये जो रिस्क असेसमेंट है, दो ये इतना जो नेशनलाइज बैंक जो रिस्क नहीं ले रहे, वो NBFCs मेजर रोल प्ले करते हैं, जाके 2% एक्स्ट्रा लेते हैं रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, लेकिन दे प्ले अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल। और जैसे मैंने अभी सर को पूछा कि यही कस्टमर अगर आपके पास लोन लेता है तो 2-3 साल वो अगर प्रॉपर रीपेमेंट करता है तो उसका ITR स्ट्रांग होता है, तो आप उनका रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट कम कर दे हो क्या? तो सर ने यस कहा। तो ये नाइस थिंग है कि सिर्फ उसको 2 या 3 साल ये ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट रेट का बर्डन बढ़ना चाहिए, अदरवाइज उसका वापस नेशनलाइज बैंक के हिसाब से रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट कम होना चाहिए, बिकॉज उसका रिस्क असेसमेंट कम हो चुका है। तो ये 5 चीज़ें इंपॉर्टेंट है। और इसके साथ ही ये जो स्कीम्स है, ये बेनिफिशरी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मिलने के और हिसाब से गवर्नमेंट ने इसमें बहुत से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रोड, सीवेज, STP, सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट, वाटर सोर्स, ये अवेलेबल गवर्नमेंट करता है, ऑलरेडी करता है। इसकी वजह से बेनिफिशरी वहाँ पे आने के लिए वो बिल्डर पर भी अदर जो एक्स्ट्रा बर्डन है कॉस्ट का, वो नहीं आता है। और रेनगर में ऐसे अनेक स्कीम्स है, रेनगर में सक्सेसफुल भी किया है। 5 लाख का घर है, 5 लाख के घर में 2.5 लाख की सब्सिडी सेंट्रल स्टेट की आती है, रिमेनिंग 2.5 में 2,10,000 तक का लोन बैंक से अप्रूव होता है, सिर्फ 40,000 का ओन कंट्रीब्यूशन भरना होता है। तो 2,10,000 का अगर सोचे तो 2 या 3,000 EMI आता है, जो रेंट से भी कम है। गवर्नमेंट ने स्टैम्प ड्यूटी भी वे ऑफ की, 1,000 रुपये सिर्फ स्टैम्प ड्यूटी रखा है। इतने सारे एस्पेक्ट्स है, हर्डल होने के बावजूद भी इतने अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ अपने फाइंड आउट गवर्नमेंट ने किए, और ये स्कीम सक्सेसफुल हो रही है, और इससे भी ज़्यादा सक्सेसफुल होगी श्योर।
ग्रेट मिस्टर अजय, आई थिंक बहुत ही शानदार तरीके से आपने इस सवाल का जवाब दिया। एंड एक चीज़ विच आई रियली लाइक्ड, इनफैक्ट वी ऑल ऑफ अस शुड अप्रिशिएट, दैट्स व्हाट एग्जैक्टली माय क्वेश्चन वाज कि फाइनेंस कंट्रोलर का क्या रोल होता है इस HFC में। एंड दैट इज़ वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज़ कि टाइमली रिलीज ऑफ दैट कॉम्पनसेशन टू द बेनिफिशरी। तो ये अगर इफ़ finance controller are able to meet that, I think lot of challenges can be met through this. So I think congrats to you, sir. I think you are doing a great job. My now next question would again I shift to Mr. Anil Wankhede. I would specifically want to understand from you, Mr. Wankhede, what are the current some policies or some plans that you have. I mean, you did mention that currently you have not partnered with any HFC for this MHADA, but are there any future plans for the same, and how policies are governing this, role if you want to tie up with any bank or NBFCs? What are the current scenario? And adding to this question, you can also answer about is there any pipeline projects for housing for all mission in the future, or if there is anything ongoing which people would be enlightened to know, which they are not yet aware. So if something is in pipeline, you can please mention that also in this.
Yes, I would like to talk about the projects which are not feasible. Now I'll tell you the role of MHADA. MHADA is primarily making affordable houses available to the citizen. Now there is another role of MHADA, like redevelopment of the MHADA layouts. In Mumbai and anywhere in Maharashtra, wherever the project is feasible, viable and lucrative, obviously the private player will come forward and grab that opportunity and develop. Now what will happen to the projects which are not feasible? It may be not feasible because of the density of that population, or use of FSI. In case the entire FSI is already utilized, there is no incentive FSI scope on that layout. There can be CRZ issue, there can be civil aviation issue, there can be a defense issue. Because of that, the old colonies are not getting developed. Now in such cases, as our VP sir in the morning stated, we are ready to redevelop because we have that mandate. It's not like we are ready. We consider this as one of our challenge. Now, in such cases, the major problem is cash flow. Now, in case suppose we go in for a EPC tender, now suppose this project is not feasible through the developer model. So we will have to construct the rehab component first. And then probably the vacant land we will sell into the market, or maybe we'll construct the sale component. My problem would be how do I arrange my revenue for rehab component? I will be requiring those funds, those cash flow. So for that, we may look upon to the institutions to fund us. In case we get those viability, maybe we'll require this viability in 2-3 projects, and after completion of this 2-3 project, we will get revenue out of this project, and then same revenue can be utilized for other non-viable projects. So this is one of the aspect. Second, I had an opportunity to work with MMRD and Metro Corporation, where the large-scale funding, international funding, they have arranged from JICA, World Bank, ADB. So I happen to be working on such finances issues. So mega finances are being funded by such big agencies. So I personally spoke to JICA representatives and I posed MHADA proposals that whether they are willing to fund these projects. Because in one of the wrap-up meeting in Maharashtra at Chief Secretary level, they did agree that they are ready to fund for other projects in Maharashtra. So we are looking at that opportunity also, because in case the JICA funding we are able to get, so it is about 3.5% of the interest, and that too we will be repaying that amount in yen. So there is no dollar liability. So these are various issues in funding, project funding. And I'll come back to the original, earlier my statement. I'm very happy to understand from my colleague that they are willing to fund our EWS, MIG, LIG beneficiaries. So I think like this, many companies should come forward. Because of this, I'm sure the beneficiaries will come forward, and the tenements which are not being sold now in MHADA, our 3,500 crore rupees is blocked in unsold inventory. So many places we are struggling with getting the beneficiaries because there is a criteria that his income should be so and so. I can't sell in the open market. So in case I think funding is arranged, so this challenge can be addressed. Thank you.
Great, Mr. Ajit. I think wonderful. So the challenge that you have mentioned, I think once I'll move again to Aavas, they would be able to address it. I would want to ask Mr. Parikshit, what are your states? I mean, you did mention that Housing for All or PMAY mission, this is among the least priority, but then what are the current scenario, if you can mention here, and also projects in pipeline, and also adding to what Mr. Ajit said, is the same challenge is faced in the state of Madhya Pradesh also?
To add to Wankhede, sir, because your question was linked to that only. If you understand the PMAY urban guidelines, there is a vertical called as CLSS, Credit Linked Subsidy Scheme. Thereby, the government of India set some targets where they put the interest subsidy directly into the account of beneficiary for particular like 4% interest, 5% interest. That subsidy is given by government of India directly to the beneficiaries. In MP, that scheme, I think all over India, that scheme is 100% success, because it is very easy to avail. Easy for banks to approach the beneficiaries for this, because for affordable housing, if someone is getting interest subsidy in the form of in the loan that they avail, basically they are helping it to reduce the principal as well as interest to around 2 lakhs per beneficiary. So that help is given by the government for affordable housing. But again, I would like to request on this point key for BLC that beneficiary link जो construction है उसमें जैसे शुरू में सर ने बोला है कि जो पानी पूरी वाला है या कोई भी जो हमारा वेंडर है या कोई जो मतलब हैंड टू माउथ वाला व्यक्ति है उनके पास उनकी इनकम सर्टिफिकेट हो, सिबिल स्कोर हो, बहुत सारे डॉक्यूमेंटेशन जो बैंक लोन लेने के लिए लगते हैं, दैट इज़ नॉट अवेलेबल. So the challenge to tap that beneficiary, to help that beneficiary, to handle that beneficiary, MP has come out, as I said in the morning, कि एक tri-party agreement where ULB act as a guarantor, कि उसका जो मतलब जहाँ पे भी घर बन रहा है, जैसे आपने भी बोला था कि माड़ा का जो हाउस है वो एक एज अ कोलेट्रल एक्ट करता है, तो वहाँ पे उसकी जो ज़मीन है जिस पे उसका घर बना हुआ था, कच्चा घर था, या उसके पास पट्टा है या कुछ भू अधिकार पत्र है, तो दैट एक्ट एज अ कोलेट्रल एंड वी आस्क द बैंक्स टू टेक दिस एज अ कोलेट्रल एंड गिव देयर सम लोन. Secondly, in every forum, like the district level banking committee meetings are there, the state level banking committees meetings are there. This agenda is there for monitoring. Because without the state intervention, without the administrator or intervention, banks generally don't focus on these issues. So जो पेंडिंग इश्यूज या बैंक के पास मतलब कभी कभी ऐसा हो जाता है कि लोन स्वीकृत हो गया पर डिसबर्स नहीं हुआ, तो फिर उन जो हम फिगर्स उनको बताते हैं कि आपने लोन तो स्वीकृत करके रखा है फिर डिसबर्स क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो, तो जैसे जैसे कलेक्टर या फिर हम जैसे नगरीय निकाय है या फिर स्टेट लेवल की बैंकिंग जो कमेटी है वो उनको फोर्स करती है या उनको मॉनिटर करती है, तो स्लोली दे स्टार्ट गिविंग आउट द लोन्स. So that challenge is also there. So at the end of the day, the solution for affordable housing is, I think, simplifying all these procedures so that the ground level beneficiary who needs affordable house can avail the banking sectors easily. And secondly, as said previously, ULBs to get that infrastructure financing. लाइक वानखेड़े सर सेड कि बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स में वर्ल्ड बैंक, जापान वाले बैंक सब मतलब देते हैं लोन, बट हाउसिंग सेक्टर का अगर मान लो 100 करोड़ का भी प्रोजेक्ट है तो उसमें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फाइनेंसिंग में हमारी बैंक्स, कमर्शियल बैंक्स हो, ये थोड़ा सा आगे पीछे दिखती है. तो कहीं ना कहीं हमें अगर अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग में आगे बढ़ना है तो बैंकिंग सेक्टर हैव टू थिंक डिफरेंटली to ensure the housing for all, the goal that has been envisaged by Government of India. Thank you.
Great, Mr. Parikshit. I think this is a very great move by the government of Madhya Pradesh, acting as a guarantor for the user. So I think this is really worth appreciating. I would want to move to Mr. Selvin now that now we have shifted to a different angle of conversation. Now one common problem which emerges is the project funding and such thing. Aavas and other NBFCs and bank, they are pretty active when it comes to the meeting financial needs of the users and the beneficiary. But is NBFC, or if I specifically ask Aavas, and if not Aavas, then since you are from that financial and banking industry, what are your views and can those NBFCs and banks be open to collaborate with the government for the fundings also, and if yes, then what are any criteria or any challenges that you see if you are not going forward with this? So if this question you can specifically try to answer, Mr. Selvin, from...
As I said, we are very much ready to fund the beneficiaries. Okay, as of now, project funding we are not allowed. We will not able to do that as of now. Okay, so yes, we are always ready to help the beneficiary as of now. So project funding will be not be possible for us. Okay, but yeah, in some of the cases we are doing construction funding for small time things. Okay, which where there is amount of restriction like 2 crore, 3 crores of thing. Okay, there is a small time where there it is not connected to any RERA. There we do a small funding. But yes, we are not open for big funding as of now.
Sure, Mr. Selvin. If not Aavas, then specifically from the banking industry or NBFC, that if you can relate, what are the challenges that majorly...
See, NBFCs are not so aggressive in project funding. Okay, there was some of the NBFCs who were therefore, in project funding, maybe banks should come ahead to do the funding for the government projects. I am in favor of that. Okay, they should come actually. And for my experience, if you say, as my colleague had presented, okay, there's a different review on the delinquency. Okay, the customers which we have is purely affordable customer, low income profile customers who don't have any assessed income. Okay, they are a lower delinquency customer. Okay, if you see our delinquency NPA percentage less than 1%, which is best in industries. Okay, so if you, I can say that this type of customers are really emotionally connected to the project because the first house for them. Okay, so I think so. Government, national banks, okay, big banks should be come here to fund the projects. I can see how deeply he was to get fund. But yes, I am so confident that we will be there for beneficiary for sure.
Great, great. That is also important. But I think uh, I'll move to Mr. Ajay. On the same perspective, can you, in fact, I would like to ask you something different because we have heard from Ajit sir. For the financial and housing for all projects, in fact, if you can answer that, what are some of the measures that government or any ULB should take to educate the customer? Because one challenge is getting beneficiary also. If they are not educated, if they are not aware about the latest schemes, especially in their state. So as a part of MHADA and finance control, I mean, if as far as your knowledge, if you can answer this, like what are few measures according to you that government should take, and if MHADA specifically is doing, or housing department of Maharashtra, they are specifically doing anything about this for the education of the user and beneficiary.
Yes. First of all, I'll tell just few lines about the previous question regarding project finance. So nationalized bank are very much inclined to do project finances because their calculation works on loans and advances. So lots of time the government institute who have excess of fund, they invest in it. In fact, MHADA itself, we received 8.05 rate of interest on investments. So जब हमको 8% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट हमको मिल रहा है, तो वो इतना लेंडिंग हमको इंटरेस्ट रेट दे के ले रहे हैं, तो उनको आगे फॉरवर्ड करके अगर लोन देना है तो ये बैंक का वर्किंग चलता है. तो हार्डली 0.5% के मार्जिन पे काम करके वो बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट इंस्टीट्यूट्स में लोन देते हैं. इनफैक्ट गवर्नमेंट को प्रोजेक्ट्स में लोन देने के लिए हमेशा इंक्लाइंड होते हैं, बट इट शुड वर्क आउट. सर ने जैसा कहा कि उससे भी कम इंटरेस्ट से कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट इंटरनेशनल देते हैं. सो वी शुड एक्सप्लोर वेर एवर द अपॉर्चुनिटी इज. सेकेंड थिंग, आपका जो सेकेंड क्वेश्चन था कि लिटरेसी बढ़ाने के लिए गवर्नमेंट क्या स्टेप्स ले रहा है ये यूनिट में. तो इसमें भी अगर अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग में अगर देखते हैं तो थोड़ा ऑर्गेनाइज्ड अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड ऐसे दोनों पार्ट आते हैं. BLC ULB के ओर से जो अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में अर्बन एरियाज में, रूरल में भी स्कीम है लेकिन अर्बन के बारे में बोलूँगा, वो जो इंडिविजुअल बेनिफिशरीज है तो उनके बेनिफिशरीज का अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर पे होता है. अपन डायरेक्ट उनको बेनिफिशरीज के अकाउंट में उनका ट्रांसफर फंड्स करते. स्कीम के डिटेल्स उनके पास है. बेसिकली प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, उन लिटरेसी का ज़रूरत वहाँ ज़्यादा है. यूजुअली व्हाट हैपेंस कि वो सेक्टर में जैसा ही फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड स्टेज में डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किया है, तो फर्स्ट स्टेज लेने के बाद में उन्होंने कंस्ट्रक्शन काम चालू करना चाहिए. सभी लोन का कोई भी अगर लोन लेता है उसका बेसिक पर्पस क्या है, जिस चीज़ के लिए लोन लिया है उसी के लिए अगर यूज़ करते हैं तो उसका पर्पस सॉल्व होता है. ऐसा बहुत बार दिखता नहीं है, वो लोन लेते हैं और काम स्टैग्नेट होता है. इसलिए 3 स्टेजेस में रखा है. जियो टैगिंग रखा है, कंस्ट्रक्शन लिंक्ड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन रखा है. तो वहाँ पे बहुत लिटरेसी की ज़रूरत है. ऑलरेडी हम काम कर रहे हैं इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल पे, लेकिन बहुत बड़ा इंस्टीट्यूशन है, बहुत बड़ा ULB का नेटवर्क है, बहुत से गवर्नमेंट के स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं. ऑल शुड बी एक्टिवेटली पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन कि जो भी BLC में इंडिविजुअल लोन लेते हैं उनका पर्पस घर बांधने के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है, तो उन्होंने इमीडिएटली घर बांधना चाहिए. क्योंकि हम सेकेंड और थर्ड स्टेज भी वी आर ईगरली वेटिंग टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट. हमारा प्रॉब्लम क्या है, सेकेंड और थर्ड स्टेज हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर नहीं पाते क्योंकि वो उतना फास्ट स्पीडअप काम नहीं करते. और उसका 2 पर्पस सॉल्व होता है. एक तो उसका जो अपना पर्पस है वो बेनिफिशियरी का घर होता है, और सेकेंड थिंग इंडस्ट्री में इंजेक्शन ऑफ मनी होता है, जो अमाउंट हम इंजेक्ट करते हैं वो इकोनॉमी आता है, ग्रोथ होता है, जीडीपी बढ़ता है, तो ये लिटरेसी वहाँ ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। और सेकंड जो सेक्टर है वो है अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग, पीपीपी का, वो थोड़ा ऑर्गेनाइज्ड है। तो हम नहीं भी कहेंगे तो बिल्डर को वो प्रोजेक्ट फिजिबल करना है, इसलिए वो बेनिफिशरीज ढूंढ के लाता है, उसको हम भी कुछ अगर प्रमोशन चाहिए तो इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल पर भी देते हैं, और कुछ बैंक्स के सेमिनार वर्कशॉप ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं। तो ये लिटरेसी वहाँ का है। तो अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के लिए भी हम ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या? एक अपन बैठ के प्रोग्राम डिजाइन कर सकते हैं, वी विल श्योरली डू सो दैट।
Great, great, sir. In fact, our program that we have been doing as a part of Elets, we are running affordable housing summits. We are running housing summits. So our purpose is also that you to spread the awareness among the community, among the people, so that it can spread, across the nation, across the globe, and that's how a lot of people will come to know about the scheme. So I think very well answered, by Mr. Ajay. I would now like to ask. I think we have already reached almost half an hour plus for this session, and we have been allocated 45 minutes for this. So I'll move to the last leg of questions with all the panelists, and in that question, all of you can also add your closing statements also. Otherwise, it will become another round of questions. So, Mr. Ajit, starting with you, I would want to ask you, what are the future plans and priorities? Like, if I consider asking you for next 3 to 4 years from the government of Maharashtra, like we know the current scenario, we know the current challenges we have talked about in the previous questions. What are the various schemes and various challenges that are being faced for next 3 to 4 years? If I have to quickly ask you, what are your priorities, and as a role of deputy CEO here in MHADA, and where do you see government of Maharashtra excelling, and can Maharashtra become the topmost leader in the coming years also, and they can retain that position also, your views on that for your long term plans?
Definitely. We were discussing about finances and the challenges in implementation of project. So recently, every Monday we have our HOD meetings, and our VP also conducts like brainstorming session, like think tank meetings. So in those meetings, we understood now we have to implement a new strategy in case we have to because finally we have to increase affordable houses. Now how those houses are coming, it's immaterial. We have to provide those units, those numbers. That's why we decided to implement a JV policy. Now what this JV policy is, now suppose there is a MHADA land which is lying vacant. In case I construct on that land, I will have to spend all my money, all my cash flow will be blocked for 3 years. After it gets constructed, then I'll sell it in the market, like to the LIG EWS category. And that time I will get my money back. Now we have taken two decisions. One, we will like immediately the project is launched, we'll start the lottery process, identifying beneficiary, and that's how I will get my cash flow right during the construction, and then I may not be burdened with the finances. Second, wherever our vacant lands are, we'll be inviting private players by following due process, and we'll be sharing the built-up area. Now that model could be like developer will come forward, we will decide like 30 to 40% of the built-up area he will have to share. That will be the minimum bidding criteria, and based on that the plot will be given to the developer. So he will construct like 40% he will give it to MHADA, constructed premises, and 60% he will retain. So this is one model. The third model could be a private land owned by a private person. Now he will come forward along with his land parcel to us to us for construction of affordable housing. Now the question will be, why will he come to me? Because in case he comes to me, MHADA has 3 FSI, and he in case develops on his own, he may have lesser FSI. So that is the sweetener, that is the incentive. Because of that, the private player will come forward. Now these are the plans on initial stage. I'm sure in a short time of period, we will finalize that and implement. So, by implementing such kind of strategies, I'm sure we'll be increasing the number of affordable housing every year. One more addition to this, in Maharashtra, I don't know, in MP and other state, we have 20% inclusive housing scheme. So under the 20% inclusive housing scheme, it is applicable to 10 lakh plus population cities, municipal corporation. Any plot which is 4,000 meter and above, the developer or landowner has to share 20% constructed built up area to me. Or in case if it is a plotted scheme, he will have to share 20% the land area to me. Once he share that constructed premises or land area, the constructed premises, whichever place he is sharing to me, the developer will get the construction cost, and land I will get free, and the owner will get FSI or TDR in return. So this is how the tenement units will be generated, and we are expecting about 1 lakh tenement through this scheme. So these are the initiatives state government has taken, and MHADA is also trying to implement new strategies. By using these both the techniques, I'm sure we'll be providing the number of desired unit to the beneficiaries. Thank you.
Great, Mr. Ajay. I think these are some amazing strategy, and I'm sure government of Maharashtra will be using it to excel to newer heights in this mission. Same question to Mr. Parikshit. Like, what government of MP's plan are for next 2 to 3 years, and do you see MP emerging as the next hub of affordable housing mission in India?
Definitely. For coming 2 to 3 years or 5 years, what government of MP is focusing on is first in affordable housing sector in BLC vertical. Because from past experience, I have been the mission director for just 5 months now. But what my past experience or what state's past experience is there, the beneficiary identification is very crucial when it comes to give him the affordable housing. There have been cases where those who were not eligible for the housing subsidy, they were benefited because of various factors, local political factors, etc. So first challenge will be the identification of the genuine beneficiaries and get them the affordable housing. Secondly, in metros like Indore and Bhopal, we are focusing on PPP mode for slum redevelopment, redensification, and also in affordable rental housing concept. So, because PMAY second phase has affordable rental housing as one vertical, so we take it as a challenge to develop some scheme or some policy whereby we can have that affordable rental housing, because every person doesn't come in the city to live there. He can come there for doing his job, her job, and thereby he can return to his home place. So this affordable rental housing scheme also is I think in pipeline. We can have some modalities develop in PPP mode also in affordable rental housing. And again lastly the banking जो CLSS स्कीम है, इसको हम कैसे अच्छे से इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, दैट वुड बी अ चैलेंज. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, टू कंक्लूड, आई वुड से कि एक घर होना, एक अपना घर होना, एक अपना आशियाना होना, ये सभी का, हम यहाँ पे बैठे हुए सभी का एक सपना होता है. और ये ऐसा ही सपना हमारे जो गरीब भाई बंधु हैं वो भी देखते हैं. तो अगर हम जो स्टेक होल्डर्स है, जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हो, प्राइवेट बैंकर्स हो, बाकी लोग भी जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, अगर हम उनका सपना सर्च करने में थोड़ा सा भी अगर हेल्प कर दें, तो आई वुड थिंक कि हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल जो अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग का एक गोल है वो हम जल्दी अचीव कर पाएंगे. थैंक यू.
ग्रेट मिस्टर परीक्षित. आई एम श्योर घर हो अपना, आशियाना हो अपना, ये सबका सपना होता है, और ये इस परफेक्ट कॉम्बिनेशन और ये कोलैबोरेशन के साथ, कोलैबोरेशन ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, बैंक, बेनिफिशरीज, और एक परफेक्ट रोड मैप हम इस पैनल डिस्कशन के थ्रू अब सबको दिखाना चाह रहे हैं, जिसके थ्रू आई थिंक ये मिशन सक्सेस होगा. मिस्टर सेल्विन, द क्वेश्चन टू यू ऑल्सो, फ्रॉम द other perspective, like Aavas के future के लिए क्या goal maps? Since you are the chief business officer, so you
Yeah,
must be
yeah.
having a lot of views on that, and we would be enlightened to know कि Aavas, how you are looking towards. In Maharashtra currently, you are among like the top 5 player, but then can Aavas become number one? I'm sure it does, but what are your plans for that?
So right now I feel that we all are moving to Vikshit Bharat. Okay, so seeing the affordable market. Okay, to just to share, I really am feeling very proud to share my organization vision. So as you said, we are top 5. We want to become a leader. That is the vision. Okay, if you see some of the NBFCs never think about creating a big book. But if you see, our vision is that we want to create a 1,00,000 crores of book. Right now we are at 18,000 crores. Okay, so you can see in next 5 years that is our vision. Okay, to reach to the vision, that vision, surely we need to be more aggressive on affordable funding. Okay, as everyone is saying about the affordable, I've met some of the private sector builders. Okay, to be frank, the builders are moving out of the affordable. Okay, because of the thin margin. Okay, and I can see that government is moving towards the affordable. Okay, so I want to be really partner to the government on this part. Okay, and there is no confusion that as bolte हैं ना, it's I'm also emotional right now saying कि everyone has to there's a dream. Okay, and if you see our portfolio, we have around 2 lakh customers, out of which 85 to 90% of the customers have taken first house from us. Okay, so we will continue that. And as I said, we have created a separate vertical, and this vertical is not a new vertical for only this government, MHADA and all. So we have created the vertical since last 3 years, and we'll continue this vertical, separate vertical, because the sourcing for the market is different, and sourcing for this affordable business is different. So we'll continue with this, and currently we are present in most of the cities. We are present in 2,500 towns. Okay, we are present in 13 states. We are present in around 350 districts. Okay, and we have 371 branches. Our vision for next 2 years is we have to reach to 600 branches. Okay, so we are moving to, now we are not present in south. In south we are present in Karnataka. Okay, now we are moving to Tamil Nadu and AP Telangana. Okay, Maharashtra is the second highest branches. We have 49 branches. Okay, so that's the reason we are very much closely connected to MHADA. Okay, and whenever I speak to my team members, if I find that we have got 200 allotments, so I ensure that we do all funding on 200 allotments. So that is our vision, and we'll continue it. And surely, maybe after this meeting, I will personally meet everyone to do this tie-up. Thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful, Selwyn. Really worth applauding. Mr. Ajit, if you, Mr. Ajit, sorry, if you can also add something from government of Maharashtra in MHADA's perspective. Ajit sir also mentioned about the plans, but then if something that you want to add on to that.
Just in one line, raising affordable and accountable finance to all affordable housing schemes in the coming years.
Wonderful, wonderful, great. I think we have heard from the best of the minds here in the housing mission. We have heard from MHADA. We had speaker in this panel from MP. We heard from the solution provider and Aavas Financial Solution. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, with this formally we end this last session of the day. I'm sure you all have been enlightened with the lot of brainstorming that happened with all the areas. And since the morning we have done similar sort of thing. We had session related to the sustainable development. We had session related to public private partnerships, and we have seen some good presentations from our partners. Really thanks to all the players who have supported here, starting from Raymond Realty, who had been our presenting partner, to all other partners, Tata Projects, TCC Construction. I, on the behalf of Anuj, Elets Technomedia, Anuj Sharma, the head of strategy, would thank all the partners. And with this, I formally hand over, for the closing session and proceedings to Shweta.